Hey, it's Paul, and welcome back to YNR Update. I'm going to jump right into things. First, we see Abby, and she's acting like a basket case in front of Stitch, and you know, they're actually both comparing who's worse as a person, who hops around more with other people, who's ruined more lives. I don't really care because the end is they talk about going public as a couple, and they agree that they're going to go to the opening of the Underground. Still don't care. Don't care about you as a couple. Don't care about your damaged characters. Then we see Phyllis and Jack, and they're having dinner at the Athletic Center, and Summer comes by. Now they're sitting with Kyle, and Phyllis invites Summer, to hang around for dinner. She's not interested, doesn't want to have anything to do with Kyle, and she takes off. Now Jack slips up and actually forgets he was in the collapse, and it's so painfully obvious. But Phyllis has got a lot of questions because who could forget something so traumatic? I don't even get this. This is ridiculous. And then Victor has to jump in and save the day. He doesn't even save the day. He comes in with a little cover up that says, he's trying to forget it. It's traumatic and whatnot. It's ridiculous. I don't even know who. Like, seriously, are we supposed to be buying this stuff? And then it's after this, Victor reads Jack the Riot Act. Okay, and this is the part, as YNR viewers, that you're gonna just choke on because it's so hard to believe. He is going up and down Jack, and he's just sitting there taking it. Now Kyle looks over and sees this happening and jumps into his dad's defense. Now, if this guy's been your dad for your whole life, you know that he would never ever take this kind of a treatment from Victor. So what does Kyle do? He says the only thing he can do, and he jumps in and defends his father. What does Victor do? Even more impossible. Seriously, Victor apologizes, tries to placate Kyle and smooth everything over. Really? I made the comment the other day that I was wondering if not only Jack was a doppelganger, but Kyle was a doppelganger. I don't know how either of these characters, where they came from or what they're up to, but it's ridiculous. Then at one point, Kyle shows a glimmer of hope by saying that Billy and Ashley had every right to be concerned about Jack. I mean, is there anything going off in this head? And then Jack says, oh yeah, we should just go to the, if you're looking for women, you should go to the opening of the Underground that's owned, by Summer's dad. And he's, and eventually he talks him into it by dangling the keys to the Ferrari. Come on, seriously, are you really writing this stuff? After that, we see Phyllis and Summer, and they're discussing how creepy Kyle is and how different he's acting. And Phyllis says that, Jack's a different guy from the guy I knew. Really? And then at the end, she chalks it up to relationships are difficult. Come on, seriously, these characters are sharper than you're giving them credit for, and you're making them act like they just got here a few weeks ago, which is how a lot of these characters look. And then Phyllis ends up talking Summer into going to the opening of the Underground. What? Knowing Kyle's going to be there and knowing that she doesn't want to be anywhere around her, so we're supposed to buy that too. After that, we see Sharon. Actually, Noah shows up and tells them about the doctored photo and all the evidence that's starting to go Sharon's way. And Sharon is upset that she wasn't told, and Noah tells her about the missing laptop and the damaged computers, and Sharon starts to really think, hey, this could really work out my way. So she talks Michael into taking a nap because he's tired, and what does she do? She takes off. Of course, yeah, she's literally under house arrest, and she takes off like a character that was so worried the other episode about her freedom in her life is going to do the one thing to land her back in jail, especially when she just went to all the trouble to make sure her daughter was secure. I don't even understand how this is being written. I'm really frustrated. And then Phyllis arrives and she talks to Nick, and then while they're at the opening, and then Sharon arrives. Ridiculous. And then at the Underground, we see, before all that happens, Faith is upset that Sage is there. Now, Nick makes Faith apologize to Sage, and but not before Faith grills Sage. She goes up and down her about, whether she's going to be in the picture. I thought you were gone, whatnot. I mean, who's going to let a kid go off on an adult like that? Well, apparently Nick is. And then Kevin brings Nick up to speed on the fact that Sharon might be innocent. And so Nick looks, a little foolish because he's the one that wanted to throw away the key. And Mariah jumps out and she blasts him for that. She does not miss a chance, and she is very faithful and defensive of her mother. And then we see Sage and Nick together, and Sage wants to quit because, Nick has dumped her. Why wouldn't she? I mean, but Nick does something that's equally stupid, and he basically tells her not to rush to judgment or not to make any hasty decisions, and he basically asks her to put herself on hold for him. And what she do? She turns around and she says, I'm not going anywhere. What? She's just gonna stick around like a doormat and wait? Okay. And then we see Abby and Stitch show up, and it couldn't be any more awkward. And Mariah wastes no time in lobbing grenades at them. I mean, she goes right after them, and it's kind of funny. And then Victor shows up, and he looks over, and a few episodes ago he saw Stitch with his daughter, and now he sees Stitch with his other daughter. And all it gets is a dirty look out of Victor. Not buying it for a second. Come on, you gotta write these guys like they are in character. After that, we see Kelly and Jack, and she comes back after 2 days with real Jack, and she makes him apologize. And at first he's not having any of it. He lets her have it, but then she's about to leave with the food, and he realizes he's got to, he's acted too hasty. So he apologizes, and she says, "No, what you got to do for me is write me a love letter." And then she sits there while he writes it. Come on, really? You couldn't write anything better than this? And then after the love letter's finished, Kelly starts reading it. Jack takes over and reads it, and but he also slips the pen, underneath the pillow. And after Kelly thinks that this is it, he's written this love letter to her, he must love her. She comes really close to him, and he pulls out the pen and stabs her in the neck. I mean, really? Really? And then as she's laying there dying, she reminds him she was really his only chance to get out of there, so if she dies, he's not going anywhere. Now he tries to find the keys, and he ends up getting a hold of her purse, but no keys there, while Kelly's laying there dying and pretty much refusing to help him. So he finds a cell phone, pulls out the cell phone and calls the cell phone, and who answers but Jack, as he and Kyle are driving in the Ferrari, only Kyle's driving. Now Jack is like, "Who is this?" And he can tell the voice sounds like him, and then he can hear Kyle saying, "Who is it, Dad?" in the background. And so Jack is confused, and he keeps insisting, that he wants to talk to his son, and the other guy's like saying, "Who is this?" And he's like, "This is Jack Abbott." And all of a sudden, yeah, that's right, Kyle, driving the $400,000 Ferrari, loses control, and you hear crash, and Jack's on the other end of the phone. So that's where we leave things. I mean, interesting cliffhanger. Really want to see how they get out of this one, but absolutely getting frustrated with these storylines and how long they drag on. It's Paul. It's YNR Update. I really want to know your opinion. And thanks for following us on social media. Have a great day.